880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on a rainy Thursday. It's October 30th, 2025. It's me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement every single day from 1 to 3, the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. We have our regular Thursday guest with us today. It'll be Dan Orlovsky and Chris Sims. Always love talking to them about the NFL, but we do start off with World Series Game 5. At the beginning of the year, when the Dodgers spent all that money and made all the moves after beating the Yankees in the World Series, you just assumed that they would break the all-time record for wins and that they would win back-to-back World Series. Well, they didn't have a good regular season, and a lot of that was impacted by the fact that, you know what, they had a lot of injuries, and some players underperformed. So they won 93 games. Now, unfortunately for them, the team that they're playing in the World Series, the Blue Jays, won 94 games. So the final two games of the World Series, if there has to be a Game 7, is going to be in Toronto because the Blue Jays have home field advantage. The Dodgers did not get home field advantage. And when they had the 3 games in L.A., they won just one. And that one was an epic 18-inning game that looks like it drained more from the Dodgers, who are older, than it has from the Blue Jays. After losing that heartbreaking 18-inning Game 3, the Blue Jays came back and convincingly won Game 4 and convincingly won Game 5. Yesterday, winning 6-1 to take a 3-2 lead heading into Game 6 tomorrow in Toronto, and if needed, Game 7 on November 1st, also in Toronto. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. And people are saying, well, the Blue Jays did it. Yeah, but the Blue Jays did it, and the final 2 games were in Toronto. So Seattle was up 3-2, but the final 2 games were in Toronto. Now, the Dodgers don't have that advantage. They've got to go to hostile territory and try to beat Toronto in 2 games. And Toronto's doing everything right. Trey Yasavich, remember when he pitched the 5 1/3 no-hit innings against the Yankees in the ALDS? Well, now he said to himself, hold my beer, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts, didn't walk a batter. And the amazing thing, this kid pitched 3 games in the majors all year. He went to low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then was called up for 3 games in September and has been one of the biggest parts of what the Blue Jays are doing. But the Blue Jays are not just a team of one man. They are a team of many. They are young, resilient, gritty. They play the game the right way. And what they've done is they've exposed the Dodgers for the things that the Dodgers can't do. The Dodgers have played shoddy defense. And once again yesterday, their offense was non-existent. You know, we want to celebrate the fact that they won that 18-inning game, and we should. But they didn't score in all of the extra innings until Freddie Freeman's home run. So their offense has been non-existent. It had been completely shut down. Now, the Blue Jays have good pitching. But other than Yasavich, do they have dominating pitching? Is Shane Bieber a dominating starter? Is Max Scherzer at age 41 a dominating starter? Kevin Gausman can be dominating, but I wouldn't look at him and say he's a dominating starter. He's good. And he's going to try to outduel Yamamoto tomorrow, try to give the Blue Jays their first championship since 1993. But the Dodgers have just stopped hitting. Mookie Betts is 3 for 23. You take away the big game that Ohtani had, and you look at what he's done since then, not good. After they walked him 5 times in game 3, he's not had a hit. And before he had the big 3-run home run game and then the 2 home runs and the double, He didn't hit before that either. And he did not hit that much in the postseason last year. He pitched very well the other day, ran out of gas. And you could see what Dave Roberts is doing. He's desperate. He pushed Ohtani in a game that the Dodgers were trailing 2-1. He pushed Ohtani to pitch in the 7th inning. Ohtani had not thrown a pitch in the 7th inning for over a year. Almost 2 years. Didn't do it at all since coming back because they babied him when he came back, which I don't blame them. Last year he didn't pitch because of the Tommy John surgery. So they pushed him to the 7th inning, and in an eye blink, it was 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. They went to the bullpen. Dave Roberts is petrified about going to that bullpen. And I told you at the beginning of the series, and that's why I picked the Blue Jays in 6. The Dodgers starters have to almost go a complete game. Their relievers aren't good. Now, in the 18-inning game, they were great. They were untouchable. What did they say? The blind squirrel finds a nut? Well, that was a lot of nuts that the blind squirrel found because one after the other, they came out of the bullpen. They were outstanding. They were unhittable. Unhittable. But Roberts is petrified. I mean, he pushed Snell yesterday, who gave up 2 home runs, back-to-back home runs to open the game before he threw his 4th pitch. First pitch of the game, Davis Snyder hit a home run. Then Vlad Guerrero hit a home run. By the way, Vlad Guerrero's having a much better series. You look at his OPS than Ohtani. So he pushed Snell, who is a great pitcher, but fragile, to over 120 pitches yesterday. Why? He's petrified about going to the bullpen. And he's lucky that in Game 6, he's got Yamamoto, who the last 2 starts in the postseason has gone a complete game. He's going to have to do it again because Roberts doesn't trust anybody in that bullpen. And if there is a Game 7, you're going to see Roberts end up going to Ohtani in the bullpen as well. You watch, mark my words, that's going to happen. But it doesn't matter how well Yamamoto pitches. Doesn't matter what happens in Game 7 with the pitching. If they don't score, they're not going to win. Now, with Yamamoto, maybe they score 2 runs, they can win. But what lies ahead for Game 7? Tyler Glasnow? Good pitcher. But the thing that the Blue Jays do is they really make a pitcher earn the 0 that he puts up on the scoreboard. Bat-to-ball skills extraordinary. They don't strike out. They did strike out in the 18-inning game, but I think they're striking out 13% of the time, while the Dodgers are striking out 25% of the time. And the funny thing about baseball, we're all talking about the Dodgers ruining baseball. We're all talking about this dynasty that's being built in L.A. You know, I was reading The Athletic today, and Ken Rosenthal had a column that if the Dodgers don't win this World Series, he actually wrote, when's their opportunity to win another one? And what he meant was there's so many people on the Dodgers that are aging out. Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy. And some of the younger players have not shown up. Andy Pages was benched. Now, you could say, well, they'll correct it. They'll just go out and spend more money, and they will. But they're going to have to eat a lot of cash because those older players are owed a lot of money. Now, Freddie Freeman had a really good season. And he had that big hit in the 18-inning game. He's 36. Mookie had a really bad year. Had a couple of good months, but for 4 months he was terrible, and now he's been terrible in the World Series. So age does sometimes become a factor. That's why, and I've told you over and over again, what the Yankees did in the 90s, that's the outlier. It's a different world. It's a harder game. Now, one more thing about Yasavage, and I mean, I've been so impressed with this guy. But the thing that bothers me, if you look at the list of pitchers putting up strikeout numbers that are out of this world, never before been done in baseball, in the postseason, I think there should be an asterisk attached to it. So what Yasavage did yesterday, with 12 strikeouts as a rookie without a walk. He beat up Don Newcomb of the Brooklyn Dodgers, who did it in, I believe, 1947. Definitely late 40s. Against the Yankees. He had 11 strikeouts. So Yasavage broke that record. But let me ask you this. What's more impressive? Yasavage striking out 12 in a game now that doesn't frown upon strikeouts where everybody's selling out for the home run? Or what Don Newcomb did against that Yankee team in 47 that had Yogi Berra, who never struck out, and Joe DiMaggio, who never struck out. So when you struck out 11 against that Yankee team, isn't it more impressive than striking at a team that strikes out 25% of the time? And I'm not trying to take anything away from Yasavage. High release point, unbelievable splitter, immense calm for a young man. But I keep seeing all these numbers, and when they put the list out, it's all guys that, have struck out these batters in the 2000s. Well, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. Strikeouts are not frowned upon. They want you to sell out. They don't want you to have a two-strike approach. But guess what? The team that's up 3-2, they do have a different approach. And that's my greatest hope. I keep saying Yankee fans should be rooting for the Blue Jays, just so the Yankees still have the distinction of being the last team to have back-to-back. But another reason that they should be rooting for the Blue Jays, and all other fan bases should be rooting for the Blue Jays. Sports is a copycat endeavor. And the Blue Jays are a team that discourages strikeouts. They still hit home runs. They're middle of the pack with home runs, but they discourage strikeouts. And they don't strike out a lot. And they foul pitch after pitch after pitch. And they build up pitch counts of starters. Maybe the rest of baseball will do that as well. Maybe the Yankees will say, we got to cut that. We can't have 5 guys striking out over 180 times. We can't do it. We got to change our approach. And I'm not discouraging home runs. Blue Jays have hit home runs in this series. That's why they're leading 3-2. But there's a different way to skin a cat. No offense to cats. So please, PETA, don't send me any letters. That's just an expression. There's a different way to build the mousetrap. Let's put it that way. You don't have to strike out 220 times to hit home runs. You don't. Put the bat on the ball, hit the ball hard. Why have the Blue Jays been able to do it? And if the Blue Jays win a championship this way, maybe other teams will say, maybe that's something we should look into. And I will tell you this, whether you want to use the word crapshoot or if you want to use the word random, if you eliminate strikeouts in the postseason, you got a better chance of winning. If you put the ball in play, even if the ball doesn't leave the yard, you have a better chance of winning. So when the Blue Jays broke it open in the 7th inning yesterday, it started with Teoscar Hernandez selling out for a looper into right field that turned into a triple for Addison Barger. Wasn't a well-struck ball. He just put it into play. Got a triple, opened up the whole thing, eventually knocked out Snell. Boom. Ball game, almost World Series. That's what we should all be rooting for. That's the key. That's the key right there. Put the ball in play. I've never believed the holy trinity of the 3 true outcomes. That's the only things that matter. Walks are important because that's on base percentage. But strikeouts I don't buy. I've never bought when they go, well, you know what, when you strike out, you don't hit into a double play. If you don't put the ball in play, nothing happens. Nothing. Absolutely nothing happens. And the Blue Jays are showing us that. Person by person, position by position. The Blue Jays are not the greatest team in baseball. But then let's look at the word team. They are that. They play the game the right way. They hustle down the line all the time. And I know people I respect. Joe Girardi. I used to always ask him, why do you allow Robinson Cano to just jog down to first base on a ground ball? And he said, because I'd rather him play 161, 162 games and jog down to first base every now and then on a routine ground ball than have to bust it down the line, maybe pull a hamstring, and I lose an important player for 2 or 3 weeks. I get it. But you know what? Get your guys in shape and make them run down hard to first base all the time. I have watched almost every single postseason game this year. And the teams that win are flying down the line. And the teams that lost series, I'm telling you, they jog down the line on some ground balls. They do. Why can't you play the game the right way? I keep hearing the voice of Frank Howard, who used to be a coach on Buck Showalter's staff when Showalter took over in 92. And he would yell that booming voice to the players, running hard for 90 feet 4 times a game is not a hard way to make a living. And I think teams are allowed to get away with it. Teams look the other way. Well, you know what? He plays hard, though. I know he plays hard. But are you really playing hard if you can't run hard to first base every single time? Now, some people get grandfathered out of that. One of them is Stanton. And you know why? He can't run hard. He's physically incapable of running hard. And a player I really like, who I think has a tremendous amount of talent, Jazz Chisholm Jr., he jogs to first base every now and then. No excuse for it. Shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed. Derek Jeter never jogged to first base. Never. I saw every single one of his games. So why does Jazz Chisholm Jr. have to jog down the first base, I don't know, once every 8 times that he hits a ground ball to second? There was a routine ground ball to Mookie Betts. The Blue Jay player who hit it was flying down the line. This was in Game 4. Betts rushed the throw, bounced it, and Freeman couldn't come up with the scoop. And that led to a couple of runs that inning. I was texting a couple of friends of mine. I said, I'll tell you what, I see a lot of baseball, and that's an easy play because there's no rushing involved. Because the guy's just jogging down to first base. Some guys don't have speed. I understand that. But guys with speed should never be jogging down to first base so they could not pull a hamstring. Oh, please. And you can say, well, the Blue Jays, wouldn't it be criminal if they jog down to first base in the World Series? I've seen it before. I've seen people in the postseason jog down to first base. To me, it's unacceptable. The Blue Jays are showing us there is a different way to play. There is a different way to play. You know, Aaron Boone said after they lost to the Blue Jays, it hurt him because the team was so united and they played together. The Blue Jays are a really close team. Max Scherzer said it's unbelievable. Chris Bassett said it's one of the closest teams he's ever been on. This one and one of the Oakland teams that he was on. Play the game the right way. Play for each other. Pass the baton. And don't strike out so much. It seems kind of easy. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I never played the game at a high level. But to me, trying hard should not be something that should be outstanding. It shouldn't be the outlier. It should be the thing you do every day. It should be the thing you do on every ground ball. But because managers, I heard something Charles Barkley said on Inside the NBA. He said coaches criticize players, he said, and players get all upset that they get criticized. It's not criticizing them. It's coaching them. It's coaching them, but it seems like coaches and managers want to be friends with their players rather than tell them you're gonna run hard to first base or I'm going to sit your butt on the bench. These are things that should be coming out of this series. And I committed yesterday, as I was watching that game, I'm going to have a little book with me next year, and I'm going to write down every time during the year that a Yankee jogs down to first base. I can only do that with the Yankees because I see all the Yankee games. But it should be presented every time somebody jogs down to first base to embarrass them. And again, I've asked managers, Joe Girardi, I've asked Aaron Boone, and they always seem like they're okay with it. It's saving something. It's hard. It's a long season. Season was just as long for Derek Jeter. Ran hard to first base all the time. Oh, there's frustration, things like that. And a guy who played his hair was on fire, Paul O'Neill, he would jog down to first base too. And you know what? I've told this story before. He jogged down the first base a game against the Red Sox after he hit a ground ball. The next day, Joe Torre posted a lineup, and Paul O'Neill was not in the lineup at a game at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. Was not in the lineup. Paul O'Neill couldn't believe it. And he went into Joe Torre's office and said, Skip, what's up? He goes, well, I thought you were hurt. He goes, well, I'm not hurt. He goes, really? But the way you ran to first base yesterday, the only reason you could do that is that you're hurt. I'm sorry, I'll never do it. Obviously he would do it again when he would get frustrated. But for 3 weeks then, O'Neill would play like his hair was on fire again. Was that bad that Joe Torre did that? Did he lose Paul O'Neill as a friend? No. Paul O'Neill reveres Joe Torre because Joe Torre coached him hard. Oh, I thought you were hurt. You didn't run to first base. Didn't yell at him. Did it in his own understated way. And the best way you could do it, take somebody out of the lineup. And believe me, taking Paul O'Neill out of the lineup does not help the Yankees win, but it was important for Torre to send that message. And he did end up putting him back in the lineup that day because Paul O'Neill begged forgiveness. A couple of years ago, Boone did it with Gleyber Torres. Didn't like his body language, didn't like the way he was jogging to first base, benched him. And you know what? Gleyber Torres was a different player the rest of the year. The rest of the year is a different player. I think we've got to get back to that. Charles Barkley said it best. It's not being critical, it's coaching. It's managing. The Blue Jays are playing for John Schneider. They're playing hard for him. Now, if you look at the talent on both the teams, the Dodgers shouldn't be losing to the Blue Jays, but they're intangibles that sometimes don't show up on the back of baseball cards. Playing the game the right way, playing the game hard. That's what it is. That's the deal. Let me squeeze in a phone call because we've got Dan Orlovsky coming up at 1:30. Let's go to Henry in South Carolina. Henry.
Michael, I won't belabor the point too much as we're waiting to get over to Dan, but just perusing Baseball Reference here, and I'll just relate it to our Blue Jay team we have here and our two teams in our beloved New York. The Yankees in 2025 struck out well over 1,400 times. The Mets, they struck out just over 1,300. The Blue Jays, 1099. There's something to be said about that.
Of course,
and I think that we consistently look at the Yankees because we're here in New York, right? But we look at them as a very subpar defensive team a lot of the time. I think the true secret is that a lot of these teams have defensive holes that don't get because players are selling out for the home run or the big hit way too often. And I think if you just put these teams to the test, you're going to see where they have weaknesses, very, very simply. And just to bounce off real quick of your the managers, being appeared as haters, I think I can't remember what basketball players said it, but I worry that that's going to continue happening even in baseball. I don't know if you saw that the Washington Nationals hired Blake Butera, a 33-year-old, to be their manager. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I'm worried that the playful or young manager isn't going to be able to get his guys to be hustling down the line moving forward like that.
You would hope a guy like Blake Butera, Henry, and a guy like Tony Vitello, who they hired with the Giants, that the youthful energy will spill over onto the field, and they will force their team to play hard and to run hard to first base all the time. It can be done. It can be done, and it's not punitive. I know you don't want to take a good player out of the lineup, but sometimes you send a message. It's not going to be accepted. We are not accepting you not running hard to first base all the time. And you said there's a lot of teams that have bad defense. in 2024, when the Yankees lost the World Series to the Dodgers, that was a knock on them. What was it? Joe Kelly came out and said that we knew that we put the ball in play, the Yankees would make a mistake. Well, now the Dodgers are that team. But if you're going to sell out and strike out or hit home runs, defense will never come into play, and it will never be exposed. But if you hit ground balls or sinking line drives, bad defense will be exposed, and that will cause you to lose games. It's not that complicated. It's really not. So I want the Blue Jays to win one of the next 2 games. Send a message to the rest of baseball. There's a right way to play. We don't need strikeouts up and down the lineup. That's not the only way to play, and that's not the only way to hit home runs. So if the Dodgers are eliminated without a world championship, the top 2 teams home run-wise in baseball will not be champions, the Yankees and the Dodgers. And believe me, I believe in the home run and what it means to win games. But I also believe in contact, too. You can hit home runs and have a team that makes contact. And I'm not saying punch and Judy hitters. Hit the ball hard. Be like Ben Rice. You hit the ball hard, the ball will go out. But there's too many strikeouts. And again, we're talking about the Yankees because I see them every day. There's too many strikeouts in the Yankee lineup. There's too many. And Brian Cashman admitted it at his post-mortem press conference. It's got to change. It's got to change. Dan Orlovsky is coming up in just a second. Shop new fall offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $199 per month, or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $229 per month, or finance for 2.9% APR, again for 36 months. Plus, enjoy 1 year of complimentary Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Are you ready for some big winners? Oklahoma travels to Tennessee, plus Vanderbilt takes on Arch Manning in Texas, and USC travels to Lincoln to face Nebraska. Who is on upset alert? Join one of the nation's top sports betting analysts, Joe Wiz, on The Fine Line Saturday at 8 a.m. In the NFL, it's the game of the year when KC travels to Buffalo. Plus, the Wiz talks basketball, hockey, soccer, and horse racing from Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. Follow the Wiz on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. It's the best bet in town. The Fine Line with the Wiz Saturday at 8 a.m. Be ready to win.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one bath fitter.
Why do you go to Princeton Longevity Center?
We go to Princeton Longevity Center because my husband's cardiologist told him having this exam saved his life.
Because somehow 20 turned into 40, and now I need to take my health more seriously. The Princeton Longevity Center designed a program to keep me healthy and active, so 50 and 60 will be no sweat.
Because even though my cholesterol is high, it turned out my arteries are clear. That's a big relief.
Whether you want to make the most of your future years or just want peace of mind, you need the Princeton Longevity Center. Their comprehensive preventive exam combines the latest technology with caring experts to create your personal plan for staying well.
Because I shouldn't have to wait an hour for a 10-minute physical. I go to Princeton Longevity Center because I get everything done in one day and take my results home with me.
Find out why you need Princeton Longevity. Call 888-8000-PLC or go to PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. Call 888-8000-PLC. That's 888-8000-PLC.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Every Thursday at about 1:30, we get a chance to talk to our good friend Dan Orlovsky. We'll bat it around with the NFL as the source of conversation, and Dan joins us now. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bud. How are you?
I'm doing well. Cam Scatterbo gets hurt in Philadelphia last week. That turf is 95% grass and 5% artificial. I don't know exactly how that splits up, but a lot of players complain about artificial turf. In a perfect world, should all the fields be grass? Do you think artificial turf makes that much of a difference when it comes to injuries?
Oh, there's no doubt. Grass, every player would tell you that they prefer grass for so many different reasons. The way it feels when you land on it, the way that it, like the cut ability, the way that your body just presents to it, also the wear and tear. I mean, I remember playing with the Houston Texans 15 years ago under Gary Kubiak, and we had a bubble down there that was turf because it was so hot. And even in 110-degree weather, Coach Kubiak wouldn't go inside just in camp and practice or in the season because he knew, okay, if I go inside, I can't have these 10 veterans practice because if I have them practice, tomorrow they can't practice because the wear and tear on their body is just going to be so significant from the turf. And so it may not just be a quote-unquote injury direct thing. It's just more of like the wear on your body is so different than it is a grass setting.
Now, the Steelers are complaining about the fact, Acrisure Stadium, it's grass, but it gets worn out because they have Pitt playing there as well. So what's worse, playing on a beat-up grass field, which Aaron Rodgers doesn't like, or playing on a turf field?
Yeah. I don't think either of them are ideal. I still think, when it comes to a functionality and performance base, I'd probably tell you the beat-up grass field. When it comes to the wear and tear, the health, how you feel, I would tell you the turf.
Let's talk about Justin Fields' performance last week. What did he show you? Not so much on the field where he played well, but the way he handled Woody Johnson's essential attack on him. What did it tell you about Justin Fields?
Yeah, just tremendous maturity and tremendous self-awareness, self-confidence, completely comfortable in your own skin. And that's been something that even Justin even kind of talked to us about it, where, he kind of shared a story that he was so kind of shy and maybe not comfortable in his own skin when he was younger, that when he was a high school kid making highlight tapes, he couldn't even recite his own name in that highlight tape because he was so nervous. And so a stuttering would become more prevalent. And so for him to have that publicly said about him and to handle it the way that he did, then go play and then not rub it in people's noses, tremendous high character, raised the right way, hats off. And I think, he spoke volumes about how important his own faith is and how big a deal that is to him and how it got him through some really difficult moments last week. And so just a very cool kind of tip of the hat, nod of a lot of respect for Justin.
No, obviously quarterbacks, if not the hardest position to play in sports, it's in the top two. But why can he play as well as he did last Sunday and then be so bad in previous games?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you, obviously opponent defensively has a little bit to do with that. Cincinnati's very much struggling. I think that obviously they were really big, and he played really well on really crucial situational football downs, ton of third down conversions, fourth down conversions, fourth and goal conversions, 2-point play conversions. So just played well in those situations. And the why in that was they certainly went to a playmaker mode in some of it. I think that Justin, and I remember him coming out of the draft and this being something that was a concern of mine, that people thought I was being a certain type of way about. But, Justin's throwing motion, I think, is always going to breed inconsistency throwing the football. When you watch Justin throw, his elbow gets on top of the football. So when he goes to throw, the elbow is higher than the ball. Mm-hmm. I just think that with that variance, that's going to create an inconsistent path. It's going to create an inconsistent release point, which would then lead to an inconsistent location of the football. I think that's why sometimes it's not that severe and he's on, and sometimes it's a little bit more severe and you see misses. And so I don't think that's not going to be anything that changes in Justin's game. He's going to throw the way he throws. But I do think that's something that lends to that.
I'm curious why you say that. Is that not correctable, Dan?
No, it's not. No, it's Carson Wentz throws the same way. Carson has that same way. I'm sure it's a way that he threw early on. And the way that I've contrasted it, Michael, is, well, don't tell, because I had in the moment, people said, well, Philip Rivers. Yes, Philip Rivers had a very unorthodox and abnormal throwing motion, but the elbow stayed below the ball. And so, that's one of the big things is the elbow stayed below the ball. Justin's elbow will get on top of the ball. And that's not something that's correctable. Certainly not at, mid-20s or 26 years old like Justin is.
All right, staying with the Jets, they have what I would think is a very desirable player for other teams who are short on running backs in Breece Hall. He's in the last year of his contract. Only they know if they will give him the money to stay. Is that somebody, if you were the Jets, that you would consider trading?
Oh, I would absolutely trade Breece Hall if I were the Jets. And this is not a knock on Breece Hall. He's a really nice player. The Jets aren't to back away, and so and the Jets are obviously in a very early rebuild. And so one good running back is not going to change how this team develops over the next 2 or 3 years. I would much rather have a pick. I would much rather have cap flexibility. And so if I'm the Jets, while you have a appreciation for the type of player Breece Hall is, this is a no-brainer. I am trading him to a different football team.
All right, so this one, I don't know if it's a no-brainer. Quinnen Williams, there's a lot of rumors here in New York that, teams need that sort of player. Should the Jets trade him for high draft capital?
Yeah, I saw that as well. I lean a little bit on the other side of this one. I think, obviously, Quinnen's a big-time player and still very young. You don't find defensive tackles that are impactful as him in both run and pass settings. I would be a little bit more hesitant Now, it depends on what the return is and who you're sending him to. Obviously, there's a cost that everybody has a price. But I would be less willing to give away Quinnen unless someone really came in and very much so impressed me with an offer.
All right, let's go to the other side of MetLife, and that's Jaxson Dart and the Giants. Without Scadaboo, without Neighbors, is that going to retard his growth?
Well, I thought Malik being out was going to, and that really hasn't been the case. I think it'll hinder the team's performance. You know, the offense has performed better than I had expected just because of the energy and the impact that Cam has had. So I think the offense could perform less impressively, but I do think that Jaxson will continue to play at a really just an encouraging and impressive level. He was really impressive last week once again. I just, the playmaking, the throws, even some of the throws that are drops are just well-thrown footballs. And so, he's got to be the guy that everybody, and again, I'm Team Brian Dable here, but if they move off from Coach Dable, he's got to be the guy that so many coaches are like, I want to go there because of him, because he's been that impressive.
So inside the offices of other NFL teams that let him go to the 25th pick and the Giants picked him, are they kicking themselves now or reevaluating their evaluation skills?
No doubt. I've said this. I have friends who are coaches or on staffs of teams that were obviously picking before the Giants had picked him where he was. And I don't want to say pleaded and begged with them, but pleaded and begged with them, like, take this kid. He's going to be a really good player. And I think that there's plenty of teams that you could sit there and say, I bet you they wish they had him. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's having a really nice year, and Aaron's playing really good. Could they have had both? Could they have had Aaron and Jaxson Dart? Cleveland. I don't think there's any doubt that Cleveland sits back and go, man, he's played some really impressive football. He'd be great for us. The New Orleans Saints. The Saints at 9, they've already made a quarterback change. And so I do think that there's teams that were in need at that position that you could have justified taking that are sitting back going, man, we didn't see that one the way it's playing out.
All right, so I got to ask you this, and you talk to these people all the time. What didn't they like? What didn't they see?
Yeah, I didn't really get into all that, Michael. I think that, the thing that I would tell you was probably the greatest question mark was because of the style that he came from scheme-wise. Was that how smart was he? Was he really able to digest information? Could he really understand coverages? Because it was no huddle, get to the line of scrimmage. Lane Kiffin often tell you the play to get to. I was always pushing back against that because if you play in it long enough, you understand the why of what the coach is calling. So you're learning through osmosis, essentially. I think people got hung up on that, the Florida game ending where he was so good for 3 quarters and he just completely fell apart and had 2 horrific interceptions late in the game. But I think the context behind that one was important. So I think the offense hindered him just a little bit would be my guess.
Isn't it scary, though, Dan, if you think about it? The quarterback's the most important player on the team. And it just seems like they have not nailed down the proper evaluation of quarterbacks. There's so many misses and far fewer hits that this is the lifeblood of this sport, and they don't know how to evaluate it.
Well, I would say this, Michael, like the stuff that you can't really measure is the most important stuff.
And that frustrates them.
Yeah, because, well, to their defense in a way, all scouts, quote, are brought up in every other position. Hey, size matters, speed matters, strength matters. So if I'm looking at these defensive ends, there's a size, speed, strength element that I can just measure that makes me think yes or no, or I can or I cannot. And for quarterback, all that stuff eventually comes into play, but it's not the most important. The most important stuff for the quarterback is how quick can you see it? I can't measure that. How quick can you understand it? I can't measure that. What's your blood pressure like when it's at the most intense moment? I can't measure that. How do you handle the failure? I can't measure that. What's 3rd and 6 in the fourth quarter at your own 11-yard line down 5 like in the huddle? I can't measure that. There's no way that I could put a measurement on that. But God bless, that's the stuff that matters. When you get punched in the mouth, what do you like? What's your heart rate like? And so I think that's the thing that gets lost in all this. But you also then need the physical, and so you can't have one without the other at that position. And I think we just lose sight of the stuff that you can't measure.
It's so funny, and we could talk about this for hours, but, I'm around baseball so much, and it's such an analytically driven sport, and the thing that frustrates them, Dan, is that they can't measure heartbeat. I'm not talking about 62 beats a minute. They can't measure what something if they can't measure it, it frustrates them because they think everything is answered in the black and white, and sometimes it's in the gray.
Yeah. I mean, what's the guy like in the bottom of the 8th inning when he's at home and there's a guy on 2nd and 3rd, he steps into the on-deck circle with 1 out? Like, what's his pressure like? And so Derek was obviously one of the greatest of all time. I'm a Jeter fan. So, I just think that the numbers matter, yes, and the analytic element of things, no question, matter. But at that position, I think they matter the least.
Great stuff, Dan. Talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you got it. That's Dan Orlovsky. Good stuff from him. We'll talk with Chris Sims coming up at 2 o'clock as well. Hey, YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, College Game Day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN. Time for the co-host coming up in just a moment. You know how you do it, right? You apply with 1-800-919-3776. We'll talk to you before we talk to Sims. That's on the K Show right here on ESPN New York.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Looking for the best internet deal? It's just a fast phone call away. Only Optimum Fiber Internet delivers the fastest and most reliable fiber internet starting at just $40 a month. That's right, lightning fast fiber internet at a price that won't slow you down. Call 888-4OPTIMUM today to lock in your offer in just a few minutes and see how you can also get the Disney Plus Hulu bundle and an unlimited mobile line on us. Don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Terms apply.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM841631, MSRP $26,980, 0 security deposit, and 1031.25.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A and E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Tailgate season is on, and Monster Energy flavors are bringing the heat. Crack open the wickedly creamy citrus blast of Orange Dreamsicle, or ride the shockingly smooth wave of Electric Blue. Both packed with real sugar, bold flavor, and that legendary Monster kick. This is the energy your game day deserves, so grab your can and unleash the beast.
Harry Douglas here. Look, being a man doesn't mean skipping self-care. Manscaped makes it easy to feel confident, clean, and ready for anything. Whether you're at work, hitting the gym, traveling for business, or heading for a night out. The Lawnmower Trimmer gives you precision, the Beard Hedger keeps your look tight, and their grooming essentials smell incredible. Manscaped's tools are built to perform, helping you stay sharp, smooth, and feeling your best every single day. Because real confidence starts with a clean cut and the right gear. Get all the Manscaped products you need right now at your local Target.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Everybody get your
Hey, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7:30 p.m., the Islanders are in Carolina to play the Hurricanes. At 9 p.m., the Rangers are in Edmonton to play the Oilers. Coverage begins at 8:30 p.m. right here on ESPN New York. And at 10 p.m., the Devils are in San Jose to play the Sharks with Don LaGreca on the call on the television side. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. You know, I was wondering this. Teams have their shares meetings sometime in September. And what they do is they have the players that were there since spring training vote for who gets what percentage of shares. So some teams are very generous, some teams are not. And I'm wondering how the Blue Jays are going to reconcile the share they give Trey Yesavage. He started 3 games for them in the regular season. So he was a player in 3 of 162 games. Now, they take the vote on the shares in September. They don't take it after the World Series. And the reason they don't take it after the World Series, everybody disperses. They're gone. They're in all parts of the country. And it's hard to get everybody together for a vote. So they do it when they're all in the same room. There's no way that Trey Yesavage was voted a full share by the Blue Jays in that shares meeting. There's no way. And it's not because they were being cheap. The guy wasn't even on their radar. He had 3 starts. And the meeting might have even been before he got called up. Now, if they win a championship and they hoist a flag, he's one of the main reasons why. How does he not get a full share? He should get a full share without even blinking. They don't win the World Series if not for him. They might not get past the Yankees if not for him. They might not be going to Toronto up 3-2 if not for him. I'm just curious about how that's going to play out. I hope they just throw it away. Because at that time, they always say, let's give him a minimum share. I mean, the share for this series, because, 3 games are at Dodger Stadium where they hold 55,000 people. The share is made up from the attendance after Game 4. or for the first 4 games, because they don't want players to throw games in order to get more games to get the share higher. And although it's been reconfigured, Rogers Center gets about 44,000 people. So the share is going to be about $450,000. And for a guy who didn't make Major League money all year, like the Major League minimum, I think, is about $750,000 to $800,000. Pretty good minimum, right? But still, it's, he was called up only in September. So he only got 1/6 of that. So the $450 would mean a lot to him. I can't wait to see when the shares are announced what Trey Yesavich got. Let's go to Jonathan. He is in L.A. Jonathan, talk to us.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jonathan.
Michael, love the beard. Line it up a little, and it's going to look marvelous. It's going to look great, man. But love it. You should keep it.
We'll see.
Michael, I'm a big, huge Yankee fan. And I got to give respect where respect is due, man. The Blue Jays are playing great quality baseball. And if they win it, I'm going to be happy for Donnie. And, I got to give respect and give credit where credit is due. Now, let's just say that Toronto Blue Jays do win the World Series this weekend coming up. And you think the Yankees or Cashman will be like, well, we got eliminated by the future champions. And then last year, like, well, we got eliminated by last year's champions. So we're like one step away. We're right there. You think they'll say that? They don't have to make massive changes? What do you think about that? Other than that, great show as always. Can't wait for the 2-pack for sure tomorrow. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Jonathan. Of course they're going to say that, and they should. They are close. They're not that far away. Teams that don't make the playoffs could say they're far away. Now, there are going to be changes because there are going to be major people that aren't going to come back. Paul Goldschmidt's probably not coming back. There's a chance Grisham might not come back. There's a chance Bellinger doesn't come back. So, of course, there's going to be major changes. Volpe's not going to start the season on the active roster. Neither is Cole. Neither is Rodon. Neither is Schmidt. So, yeah, there's going to be massive changes, but they don't have to. They don't have to, strip it down to the studs. They are close. In 2024, they came to within, 3 wins of winning the World Series. This year, they went to 4 games against the Blue Jays, and you know what? The Blue Jays beat them up during the regular season. They beat them, 3 out of 4 games in the postseason, but the Yankees aren't far away. So it's not like they'd be lying to themselves. Jonathan, it almost seems like you're intimating that if they say that they'd be deluding themselves. They're not deluding themselves. They're not that far away. They're not. They can get a lot closer with the right moves. I mean, you could see Kyle Tucker out in the outfield. You could see them make a move for a big pitcher. The bullpen's going to be completely different. There might not be a Jeff Weaver. There might not be a Devin Williams. So just like after 2024, when they didn't re-sign Juan Soto, although they tried, they made changes and they were a very good team. They tied for the best record in the American League. They're not that far away. Yankee fans don't want to hear that, but they're not that far away. But they have to do the right tweaks to take the next step. Chris Sims is going to join us in just a moment. He's always fun to talk to on Thursday, so stay tuned right here on The K Show. Another hour to go on ESPN New York.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Jets make any more moves before the trade deadline?
So if a player is not in the mix for next year, I would certainly consider it.
Who will Jaxson Dart rely on offensively with Scattaboo out for the year?
Other guys just kind of have to pick it up. It'll be a little different without him out there just yelling and whatnot, but we got some good guys in the building too.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This October, the only thing scarier than missing the game is missing out on a brand new Kia. At Kia City of the Bronx, 3505 Connor Street is where the ghosts of old rides get traded in and new legends are born. They've got a monster lineup of new Kias that'll take you from tailgates to haunted houses in style. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955. Don't get spooked, get moving. Kia City of the Bronx, where Halloween meets horsepower.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino.
Download it.
Are you ready for some big winners? Oklahoma travels to Tennessee, plus Vanderbilt takes on Arch Manning in Texas, and USC travels to Lincoln to face Nebraska. Who is on upset alert? Join one of the nation's top sports betting analysts, Joe Wiz, on the Fine Line Saturday at 8 a.m. In the NFL, it's the game of the year when KC travels to Buffalo. Plus, the Wiz talks basketball, hockey, soccer, and horse racing from Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. Follow the Wiz on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. It's the best bet in town. The Fine Line with the Wiz Saturday at 8 a.m. Be ready to win.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, the NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino & Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
The post-crib assembly press conference brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Here, you just get one comment. Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We love 2 o'clock on Thursday. We get a chance to talk to NBC's Chris Sims. Always a great guest with us, and he joins us now. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Michael. How you doing, man?
Doing very, very well. So many things to ask you. The Giants got really kind of handed it to them against the Eagles, right. And I'm wondering, is it just a market correction that the Eagles, A, are better than the Giants, or was there a spillover from that awful fourth quarter against Denver that they didn't recover from?
You know, I can't say that I saw an awful spillover. I think one of the things I was impressed by, you know, and just to know that I wasn't alone in this, like, you know, I sit in the viewing room at NBC on Sundays, Jason Garrett, Devin McCourty. I think we all sat there and went, hey, the Giants are playing, right? They're hitting, they're playing physical. They got, again, I'm not saying they would have won the game. They got screwed over more than any team in football this year by the referees. The refereeing in the NFL last weekend was horrible throughout. There's so many calls. I can make an hour-long video on all the dumb calls in the NFL. The Giants game, of course, led that. But no, to the main point here, the Eagles, as you've heard me say before, Michael, this is an all-star team. This is one of the best constructed teams I can remember in the salary cap era. That's why it's frustrating when their offense doesn't work the right way or they don't take advantage of all that's there to be had. The Eagles did change some things on the offensive side of the ball. They got underneath the center. They played more tight ends. They said, we don't care if the Giants play 5D linemen. We're going to run the ball. We're going to play a little downhill smash mouth football. And I think they found something there because then the play-action pass worked off it as well. If the Eagles play to their total capabilities like we saw them do at times last year, the Eagles are no doubt, if not the most talented team in football, they're one of the top 2 or 3.
Now, you've made it very clear on this show and your other avenues as well that, you're not that high on Jalen Hurts. You don't hate him, but you're not that high on him. But you look at his numbers, Chris, and they really are extraordinary. So do you really have to go under the hood more to not appreciate him?
No, I really don't. Again, it's not that I don't think he's good, but, I have people tell me sometimes he deserves to be in the elite class and all that. And again, see, the numbers, he can play a game of throwing into completions and not doing anything and play pretty conservative and be underwhelming, and they're still good enough to go, oh, okay, he had, 1 touchdown this game and no interceptions and he threw for 148 yards and blah, blah, blah. And then if you really look at it the first part of the year, the whole season was like that. Go back to all the games. Go back to the Kansas City game, the Rams game, the Buccaneers game, right? They're not like big time stats there. Again, but like they're an efficient football team, and the opportunities present itself for Jalen Hurts more than any other team in football. That's what I'm trying to say. He has the greatest support cast. He has the easiest job at the quarterback position in the whole sport because everybody is worried about it's an offensive line that's like the 90s Cowboys, and they're worried about stopping that and then maybe stopping Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And as compared to the other great quarterbacks in football where they are always the focal point to stop from the other defense, when it comes to the Eagles, if you talk to a defensive coordinator, they get to like problem number 3, 4, and 5. That's when we might get to Jalen Hurts. He's not problem 1, 2, or 3 for a defense.
There seem to be a lot of murmurs about the fact that, the Eagle receivers aren't that happy. There's a lot there that they don't get to cash in on.
Right.
To me, from the outside looking in, Chris, it seems like wide receivers are the biggest divas of all time. How do quarterbacks deal with them? How do you make them happy?
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. And, you got to be, that's one where usually if you're a good quarterback, your wide receivers are some of your best buddies. Mm-hmm. But, they're divas in a lot of ways, in good ways, usually, right? I've been around Brandon Marshall in his prime, Joey Galloway in his prime. They get frustrated, sure, but they're frustrated because they're like, wait, I'm the freakiest guy on the field. Nobody can do what I can do. And how are we not giving me the ball when I'm the most dangerous guy on our offense, right? So that's where it kind of comes from. And then, of course, they have no control of getting the ball, so that's frustrating. But, like, to your point with A.J. Brown and that, if I'm the Eagles, if they think they can win the Super Bowl with A.J. Brown, I would trade him. I mean, you saw the first 4 weeks they couldn't throw to him. They went 4-0. Last week he doesn't play. Their offense looked as good as it's looked. If they want to continue their dominance here into the future and Howie Roseman being this amazing GM with all these assets, I would definitely consider trading A.J. Brown here if they think they can win the Super Bowl without him, which I think they actually can do because they're that damn good.
But even if they don't get him the ball that much, the fact that he's a threat, doesn't that help them?
Yes, it does help. There's no question. There's no denying that. And that's what makes them so scary, Michael, and that's why you hear me talk about their offense and Jalen Hurts at times just to go, wait, there's 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. They're worried about being overpowered by the running game and all of that, and now you're one-on-one with one of the better duos of receiver in football in all the league. And, of course, that is a great advantage. That's what happened in the Vikings game where their pass game picked up. Minnesota can't stop the run, so they had to worry about stopping that. And now they don't have great corners, but they had to take that chance one-on-one, and we saw Jalen Hurts go bombs away against them in that way too. But I still think, as we saw last week, they can be effective without him too. And, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think the other thing I come to is there's some teams in the AFC that need a receiver that I think view themselves as a Super Bowl team to where they might get a pretty little compensation package if they do trade him.
Now, you talked about the officiating in that game. Talk to me about the non-fumble on the tush-push play. Because to me, it's either one of two things, Chris. He doesn't get the first down if his forward motion is stopped.
Right.
And if they say, well, the forward motion, he got it, then it was a fumble. So how do they reconcile that not being a fumble?
No, they messed it up royally. They know they did. And, Michael, you watch the games on the Sunday. Mm-hmm. I mean, we watch offensive guys get in a mosh pit of people and them never blow the whistle for 5 or 6 seconds and let offensive linemen and running back and everybody push the pile, and we let it go on and on and on and on. And you're going to tell me in that moment where he's actively still fighting for yardage, they said that forward progress? Pitiful call. I mean, absolutely pitiful. That was a fumble. And again, I'm not saying like the Giants would have won that football game. I'm not saying that. But that changed the dynamics of the game between that or them calling the offsides on Kayvon Thibodeau, where Jordan Mailata jumped off sides and it's going to be 2nd and long. He's laughing because they called it on the wrong person. They throw a touchdown the very next play, right? Of course, to Darius Slayton. Nobody ever calls pass interference in the NFL. I complain about it all the time. Yeah, did he push off a little? Yes, he did, after being pulled 74 times before that. Yeah. So there's just some of those calls were bad. It was a bad week in the NFL for the refereeing. They need full-time refs badly. And if they want to get out of this whole gambling and we don't trust anybody anymore, which is where it's all about to go in sports, they need full-time referees more now than ever before.
Well, we've been doing this a number of weeks this entire season, and this is one of the times I really disagree with you, and I want to get your take. I've heard that cry for full-time refs. How does it make them better? What are they going to be doing the other 6 days that make them better?
Well, first off, you can continue to have meetings, watch film, and it's not about that. You can continue. You're not doing another job. Hey, we're meeting as an official group today, and we're going to meet with the head of officials, Walt Anderson. We're going to go over our game in depth. We're going to talk about the teams the next day, about who we're playing. And then the other thing is this is where I think you're missing it. They're not around the sport the whole year, and all of a sudden they're there for games. And they're sitting there missing things because they're like, whoa, this is happening fast. I've never seen this. Yeah, if you were at training camp practices, if you were at OTAs consistently throughout the year and all that, you wouldn't be enamored of going, oh, whoa, there goes Saquon Barkley. That's amazing. Well, you missed 7 holding penalties because you were watching Saquon Barkley, or the game was too fast and violent for you because you don't see it enough on a regular basis to where now you're a little bit like, whoa, hold on, I don't even know what happened there. And that, to me, just like any job, you can't tell me not doing it all year round and having the experience of all year round isn't going to make you better rather than, hey, I just do this a few days a week for a few months of the year.
Well, the NFL, Chris, we all know, they print money. So what's the reason for them not making them full-time?
Well, we also know, they're the cheapest group of people in the world. Yes, they're like the mafia. They're like, give you your money. Give us your money. We're not going to give you anything back, but give us your money. That's the way they operate. So, I don't have a reason for that either, but it's ridiculous. And again, I think it would help consumer confidence with all that's going on in the NBA and the NFL and where we're on right now in the gambling stuff.
Jaxson Dart now doesn't have Neighbors and doesn't have Scatterbo. How's he going to continue to progress?
I don't know. I know. I mean, are we cursed or are we cursed? That's what I say. I mean, it stinks. That was another blow to Giants fans on Sunday. I mean, the one thing I like about Jaxson Dart is he's an elite playmaker. He is. Now, but it can't always be about that. The offense has got to deliver for him a little bit too. And that's where, again, I don't love the Giants offense. You think about a lot of the best Jaxson Dart plays you've seen over the last few weeks. I go, they're not like the offense isn't delivering them. It's Jaxson Dart is delivering it for you. Oh, whoa, nice move, nice scramble. Oh, we found somebody down the field. Oh, way to get out of the trouble's way here and find somebody down the field. Nice scramble, right? That's not offensive execution. So I worry about too much being on his plate that way. And the 49ers are going to come into town this week mad about how they played. And the one thing I can guarantee you is they're going to go, wait, we're not going to let this guy run around and do some of this backyard stuff he's been doing. They're going to try to stop that. I think that was a point of emphasis for Philadelphia last week. They were like, wait, the first time we played Jaxson Dart, he moved around and made all these plays. We can't let that happen again. So that's where I worry about, where it goes for the Giants offense and Jaxson Dart right now.
Now, we talked last week about what Woody said about Justin Fields, and that's an owner, okay? So there's a new story in New York this week where Carl Banks, who does the analysis on the radio with Bob Papa, they have a podcast, and he really tore into Dexter Lawrence, said, teams don't fear you anymore. I don't know if you're hurt, but you've got to change something up. And Dexter Lawrence said, I don't care what he says. Should a player care what a guy like Carl Banks says?
Well, yeah, I mean, they should care to a degree. Listen, that's a pretty. I love Carl Banks, but that's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
To say that, being like one of the faces of the franchise, or at least one of the mouthpieces of the franchise, and doing Giants radio and all of that. And also what I always go to, and where I think players sometimes even worry about in these type of scenarios, is you go, wait, what coach said this to him behind the scenes to now give him the chance to say this out loud and feel confident about it? Now, Dexter Lawrence has not been as dominant as he's been in years past, no. But, man, Dexter Lawrence is still a force. He's still one of the best defensive tackles in football. And, you talk to any team that plays the New York Giants, it usually starts with, we got to figure out how we're going to block Dexter Lawrence first. So I'll sit there and defend Carl Banks and that it's not as dominant, as disruptive as it might have been the last 2 years before this. But, man, he's still really good in my eyes, Michael.
I'm wondering, you played quarterback in the league and at a high level in college. What's wrong with you guys? I mean, Carson Wentz had a separated shoulder and continued to play. How are you guys wired?
Well, yeah, we're psychos. Most football players are psychos. I say this a lot on my shows and stuff. We're psychos in a good way. That's what we are. But, yeah, I mean, I signed up to play football. Yes, I was bleeding out when I lost my spleen that day. I was literally dying on the field. But I was like, man, we're 0-2, and I haven't been playing good. I want to keep playing. I don't want the backup to get in, right? So, and your quarterback is usually your biggest gym rat, most obsessed football guy on the football team, right? You go to Kansas City, I mean, you hang out with Patrick Mahomes, it's obsessive. And as soon as he gets done from football, he goes home and turns football on. And then he's there commenting on social media about, oh, look at this game, look at this game. They're junkies. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, they're all the same way. So that's kind of where it is for quarterbacks. And most really good players want to be out there with their team competing, because nothing can kind of replace that adrenaline and feeling of being out there with your teammates and playing some football.
So you understand Wentz playing with the separated shoulder. You understand that.
Totally understand. I mean, Michael, I'm one of those guys that, like, if I got concussed this day and age, I'd lie big time. Man, my shoulder, my head's fine. It's my shoulder. I would lie out of my butt. Mm-hmm. I would never. I want to play. I want to compete. And yeah, I certainly am not surprised that, he hung in there and kept playing.
All right, so Baltimore's gotten off to, obviously a terrible start. They're going to get back their quarterback. They play the Dolphins. Do they still have a chance to make the Super Bowl, or have they buried themselves?
I don't think – I'm not going to count them out of that yet, right? I'm not going to say they have chances. They wouldn't be on the short list of teams, at least in the AFC now, that I would say definitely are Super Bowl teams, which I think it is a pretty short list in the AFC. But they're one of the ones I just put a little star next to go, ooh, I see a possibility. Like watching that film back last week, the one thing that gives you a ray of hope is their defense is healthy. And when you see when their defense is healthy, you go, ooh, watch out. They got some talent. They got everybody playing the right positions. They're big and physical up front. They got pretty good cover guys when they're healthy too. And then we know that the offense isn't going to be a problem when Superman is back. Now, is he going to be totally Superman tonight with this layoff that he had coming off the injury? I don't know. That'll be, but with the way the schedule shakes out for them, right? Dolphins this week, Vikings the week after that, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, and then back to the Bengals. Would I be shocked that if I'm sitting here with you like halfway through December and we go, man, the Baltimore Ravens are 7-5, watch out? No, I would not be shocked. I still think they got a chance here.
All right, so you got the Chiefs and the Bills this weekend as well. So do you believe that that's a preview of the AFC Championship game?
I don't say that. I don't know. Now, I mean, I'm much more of a believer in the Chiefs than the Bills. Anybody would tell you that. They know that. To me, the Bills are it's Josh Allen and James Cook. And then other than that, I go, tell me who's some other blue chip players on their football team. Who's going to make a big play in a big moment? Now, they're built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You've heard me say on here, when you can run the ball against Buffalo, they're in trouble because they're like, oh, no, now we have to stop the run. We're not real big up front, and now we have to play man-to-man on the outside and put our secondary in vulnerable positions, and that's where they get beat. Now, the Chiefs don't run the ball all that well. So from that standpoint, you go, oh, Buffalo's got a chance. But I think Kansas City is executing in the pass game at such a high level, And then I don't think the pass rush in Buffalo, at least with their front four, is that good. And I think they're going to have to be careful about blitzing, because if you blitz, Mahomes is going to torch you that way too. I like Kansas City on the road in a tight one, certainly, but I don't hold the Bills as such a high regard as everybody else. There's no big-time defensive player on the team that you go, ooh, they'll make a big play in the moment, right? Teams that go to the Super Bowl usually have more than 2 elite players, and that's my problems with Buffalo.
Did you gain, I'm not sure the amount of respect that you already had for Justin Fields, but did you gain more by the way he took on the Woody, incoming and played the way he did and never, ever crowed about it after the game?
Yeah, that's what I love. That's where it's like Justin Fields, you want to root for him. You do. I mean, I was one that was even in the end of Chicago going, hey, don't give up on him yet. Let's see, right? Now, as you know, and I've made it clear here, there's some problems with his throwing. But, the way he handles himself, his toughness, his ability to block out noise, which he's had to deal with a lot in his life, I am always impressed by that with Justin Fields. And, again, if he just cuts it loose a little like he did last week, where you go, hey, a guy open by a foot, that's open in the NFL. You got to throw that. When he does that, he can still be dangerous and move the ball. So that's where you give him a fighting chance here as we go forward. All
right, so tomorrow's Halloween. When kids in their costumes ring the bell at the Sims household, what are they getting?
Oh, well, I mean, so this is I'm in an area they call backcountry Greenwich, right?
Right.
I live in a real old house. The houses are really far away. I live in an old New Englandy 300-year-old farmhouse. But as you know about Greenwich, the rest of the houses in my area, and especially back here in backcountry, they're spread out, and there's mansions everywhere. So kids don't go trick-or-treating because if you go to my house, you got to walk about a half a mile to the next house, and the house is so damn big, you got to walk up another half a mile up their driveway because it's a $50 million mansion.
So it's not a smart use of time for the kid.
Yeah, exactly right. Kids don't come here. They go to other parts of the town where the houses are a little closer. If you want some good candy, go to Phil Sims' house, though, in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. There'll be a line out the driveway, but Big Phil spoils all the kids when it comes to Halloween. I mean, he really does. You'll go there. If you're just one kid, you're going to get a king-size peanut butter cup, a king-size Kit Kat, a king-size Junior Mint. I mean, they really do it up at my dad's house. So that's where I should tell everybody to go. Go get Big Phil, make him spend more money on some candy, and go say hi and trick or treat.
So he's not going for the little Halloween candy. He's going for full-size bars. That's impressive.
Oh yeah, he had somebody. One of his friends, I don't know if it was Boomer or Chris Collinsworth, who once got ragged on for the candy they gave out for Halloween.
Right.
And he made a promise to himself that he would never do that, from that moment. He saw the heat they took. So now he goes above and beyond to where it's like ridiculous what you get when you say trick or treat at that house.
All right. So little Chris Sims, what did he want? What was your favorite candy?
Oh, I'm still here at the house. We got some candy in the house. I mean, I'm a like peanut butter cup, Twix, Kit Kat kind of guy. Like if you just give me those three right there, I'm all day. I mean, I'm going to have that tonight, probably with a case of the munchies to go along with it, but I'm definitely going to have some.
Great stuff. Chris, I'll talk to you soon, and check out Chris's podcast. It's great as well. Where can they get it again, Chris? I always like to pump it a little bit.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. Chris Sims Unbuttoned, anywhere you get podcasts, and you can always check out the NBC Sports YouTube page where if you want to watch it, you can watch it there too.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games.
You too, man. I'll talk to you soon. See you, buddy.
That's the great Chris Sims from NBC. YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN. Now, when we come back, I'm going to anger some of you. You're going to be ticked off. You're going to say, after I say what I'm going to say, who does he think he is? If you like me now, you might not after what I say. And if you dislike me, you might like me even less. I've thought a lot about saying it, but I think it has to be said. We'll find out what it is when we get back right here on the K Show, ESPN New York.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it. That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Get 1.9% financing on a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 or lease for $219 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN390557. MSRP $32,455. Zero security deposit. APR $17.48 per $1,000 financed. Ends 10/31/25.
To the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. Now, they converted my kids' bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Harry Douglas here. Fellas, it's time to step up your grooming game. Manscaped just leveled up with the Lawnmower 5 and the Chairman Plus, two powerhouses built for unmatched precision, comfort, and control. Whether you're cleaning up before a night out, preparing for a big meeting, or getting ready for a game day, Manscaped has the tools to help you look and feel your absolute best. These aren't just old school clippers. They're engineered for modern men who take pride in their daily routine. So upgrade your grooming gear and experience the difference. And now you can find Manscaped products at your local Walmart.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
we talked a lot yesterday about the Jets having the audacity to raise ticket prices after not going to the playoffs for 15 years. This will be the 15th year, which is, incomprehensible. Now, one thing that I will give Woody Johnson, they try to go to the playoffs. They're not breaking it down to the studs. They're trying. He spends money. But to inflict any kind of a ticket increase on your fans it's unconscionable. It really is. And I was in the car yesterday, and I was listening to Alan Hahn of Don Hahn and Rosenberg, and he was red hot about it. This guy was a Jet fan. And you could hear in his voice the frustration and the anger. And I started to think, the only way that you send a message is to not buy the tickets. And I understand the thought process, and this is what they're preying on. And that's not P-R-A-Y, it's P-R-E-Y. They are preying on your love of the team and your fear that you drop your season tickets and they all of a sudden become a good team and you miss out on the fun. Well, after the way the Jets have played for all these years and have missed the playoffs for all these years, and you get a ticket invoice with a ticket increase, and if you send in that increase and you buy the tickets again, you're a chump. You're a chump. And that's why they do it, because so many of us are chumps. And I'm going to tell you why the fear of missing out is not applicable anymore. And Don said it best on the show yesterday with Alan and Peter. When the Giants had that 50-year waiting list for season tickets, if you didn't have a season ticket, you were not getting into the game. Fans would not sell their tickets. And there was no StubHub or Vivid Seats or anything like that. I mean, you had to go to a ticket broker maybe in Manhattan and try to scrounge up one. It was impossible. Why would you give the ticket increase to the Jets when, even if you don't have season tickets next year, you can go to any game you want to? And you don't have to go to any of the stinkers. And you don't have to go to any of the preseason games, which are thrown into the package. None of them. You'll end up saving money, even if you have to pay top dollar to go to a game that you really want to go to. So how can we get upset at the Jets for raising ticket prices if you're going to pay it? Billionaires are going to push the envelope until they get pushed back. And the nature of sports is that you love your team. And you spend money that you probably could better spend somewhere else because you want that getaway for 3 or 4 hours and you want to have the tailgate experience and all that. But if you pay them this ticket increase, you're a chump. And you deserve it. You don't have a kick coming. You can't complain about it. You can't whine about it. You can't say, I don't think it's fair. The only way you could stop it is if enough people say, enough is enough. Take these tickets and shove them. I am no longer part of your season ticket group. And you should have all done this. It's easy for me to say, but you should have all done this when they pulled the whole gig with ticket license. Remember when they told you it was a great investment? You can call in and tell me if I'm wrong. The number is 1-800-919-3776 because I want to talk to you about this. They said if you bought the personal seat license, that it was a good investment. Well, if you did, is there anybody out there within the sound of my voice that actually purchased a personal seat license for the Jets or the Giants that thinks that they could sell that seat license for profit? Because you can't. You can't sell it for a profit. You know what they did to you? They did the worst ruse on you that has ever been done. They made you pay for the right to pay for the right for tickets. You had to give them $25,000 essentially for the right to buy your tickets. And every owner who did that should be ashamed of themselves. So on top of that, you're paying a personal seat license, and that's probably why you don't just walk away from the ticket increase, because you'd be walking away from the personal seat license too. So they really got you by the short hairs. They really do. And to me, it's disgusting. Disgusting. Now, the Jets, from what I know, half their stadium was not personal seat license. The Giants, every single thing was. And the Maras and the Tisches should be ashamed of themselves doing that to their fans. But that's an old story. And even Roger Goodell told everybody, oh, it's a great investment. It's a terrible investment. If you took that $2,500 and put it, $25,000 that you paid for your personal seat license, and you put it into a money market, you would have made money. You set that money on fire. You can't even get it back. So they lied to you. So on top of that, the Jets don't make the playoffs, and it's going to be 15 years in a row, and they're asking for a ticket raise, a ticket price increase. And if you do it, you're a chump. This is when you walk away. This is when you make your stand. You can go. Did you go to the Jet Carolina game? There were plenty of seats open. People aren't going. People aren't going. It's not a good enough product. And then they have the gall to raise ticket price. Imagine if there was a restaurant that you love, and you went to that restaurant every Sunday, and every single Sunday you got violent food poisoning, and you kept going back. Then it's on you. That's not on the restaurant anymore. Why should they clean up their rat-infested kitchen that keeps getting you sick if you keep coming back? Why will the Jets change anything about the way they do things if you actually give them that ticket increase? Why? Why would they do that? They'd be the saps. Instead, they play you for the sap. They play you for the chump. And every single time they win. Every time they win. If it was 20 years ago, same situation, I might say, yeah, you better pay it because there's no other way you'll get into the stadium. There are several different ways to get into that stadium now. Several different. It's so easy to get a ticket on the secondhand market. So easy. And if you wait right before game time, you could get in probably under ticket price, under face value. And you're going to give them a 3 to 5 or whatever % increase? A joke that you would do it. And it's a joke that they would ask you to do it, but the joke's on you if you actually acquiesce and you give them the money. Let's see. Let's go to Joe in Seaford. Joe, you're next. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Michael. What's going on, man? Thanks
How
for
you
taking
doing?
the call. Good. I just have to wholeheartedly agree with you about your ticket pricing and everything. You know, from personal experience, my father was a Jet season ticket holder for years. I'm 34. And when they went to the PSL, you know, they tried selling him on the whole idea, well, you know, you have your seat for a concert, or if whoever comes to the stadium, that's your seat. And my father goes, well, what about the guy that has the Giants seat? And then they went into this whole spiel about how you get into a lottery and blah, 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 blah,
Wow,
blah.
what a great question by your dad.
Yeah, and he was like, you know what? I'm done. And they were like, oh, you know, we want you here. And we used to be on the 12th row on the Jets sideline, and they countered him with, like, the 20th row in the upper deck to try and keep us with the same price. And he was like, you know what? Shove it. And ever since then, I still root for the Jets, but I'm done with the ownership, and you can clearly see where they care about, and it's a joke. So
And Joe, answer me this. If you really want to go to a game, you can, right? Just go to StubHub.
I could. Yeah, I could, but I have no desire to because the product is awful, and I know what I'm going to pay, and I'd rather sit in my living room.
You know, football is one, and thank you for the phone call, Joe. Football is definitely one of those sports. I think it's better on TV. I really do. And football, there's inclement weather that plays in as well. The one thing you don't get when you're at home, you know, the tailgate experience, which I never really fell into, but people love it. And I could see why they love it. It's a sense of community where you're all coming together and it's the same people every single week and you have a great time. I get it. I get that. But the production on TV is so perfect and there's so much dead time. I'm taking my kid, I'm taking my whole family Sunday to the Giants 49ers game. I would much rather sit and watch it on TV. First of all, you're not freezing. It's not going to be freezing Sunday, but it'll be cold enough. You don't have to pay all that money for the concessions. and you're sitting here and you're watching great production on a really big screen, and instead you're sitting there, it's one play, about 45 seconds with nothing, and then all the timeouts, the commercials and stuff like that. It's much better on TV. It's the one sport that is much better on TV. Let's go to Tom in Brooklyn. Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Mike. So I just wanted to say I inquired about season tickets, being a lifelong Jet fan. I'm just disgusted with everything. You know, when Rodgers came, they wanted to lock me into 2 years. And that's where I was kind of hesitant. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't do it, right? And then my neighbor, he actually has season tickets, right? And he didn't even want to go to the games after the Rodgers injury, and he couldn't even get rid of them. He was trying to give them, like, to me for free. And, you know, I haven't been to a game in years. I went this year. Unfortunately, my wife surprised me with Jets tickets. I thought it was a punishment. I was like, what are you doing? And I really, you know, just going to the game, people yelling, J-E-T. I'm like, what are you guys all excited about? I mean, God bless you. You've been drinking since 8 a.m. I mean, we all have to do that to watch the Jets play football on a Sunday. But for me, it's just like I have no urge to go to the game. It's not fun. It's too expensive. And what you're watching is just it's disgusting. So I'll never go to another game until we get a new owner, to be honest with you.
Well, unfortunately for you, Tom, they don't usually sell these teams, so you might not be going anytime soon because even, you know, Woody's just going to leave it to his kids. It's going to be the Johnson family, and Christopher's involved as well. But listen, I don't say that Woody is cheap. He built a beautiful facility in Florham Park. It might be one of the best facilities in the NFL. You know, he pays the money for the players. He just goes about it and hires the wrong people. And also he's got, you know, kind of got fat fingers. He gets involved as well, which maybe he shouldn't. But it's not for lack of caring. There are teams that don't care. I think he wants to win. He just doesn't know how to go about it. Let's go to Joe in Rockland. Joe.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? Mike, I read something today that John Flaherty was let go by Yes. His contract wasn't renewed. I'd just like to see what your feelings are on that and what's going on with it. Who are they going to replace him with, if anybody? I don't know. First of all, I'll give you my feelings first, Joe. I'm devastated. John's a really close friend, and I think that John might be the most valuable person on our staff, the things that he can do. He's great in the studio. He's great in the booth, and he can do play-by-play. I mean, the only guy that we ever had that could do that was Ken Singleton, and before that, Bobby. So, yeah, those decisions are made above my pay grade. I certainly made my feelings known, but they are trying to streamline things, and there's only going to be 3 analysts in the booth moving forward. It's going to be Girardi, O'Neill, and Cohn. And then I'll do 135 games, and then Ryan will do 15. But, yeah, I've communicated with John. He knows how down I am about it, and obviously he's handling it great. As you could see from the tweet that he sent out, he's handling it with class. You know, he was with us at Yes for 20 years. So any kind of parting like that is very, very difficult. So I'm very, very sad about the move, very upset about the move. But again, those decisions were made above my pay grade. I made my personal feelings known. I think the guy is terrific, and he's going to land on his feet somewhere because anybody who hires him is going to get a great broadcaster and a great guy as well. 1-800-919-3776. We'll come back, finish it up, take you right to Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. That's next on ESPN New York.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Will the Jets make any more moves before the trade deadline?
So if a player's not in the mix for next year, I would certainly consider it.
Who will Jaxson Dart rely on offensively with Scattaboo out for the year?
Other guys just kind of have to pick it up. It'll be a little different without him out there just yelling and whatnot, but we got some good guys in the building too.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work.
For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
YouTube TV customers, you could lose ESPN and the sports you love, including college football, college game day, Monday Night Football, the NBA, college basketball, and more. Take action. Go to keepmynetworks.com to keep ESPN. This October, the only thing scarier than missing the game is missing out on a brand new Kia. At Kia City of the Bronx, 3505 Connor Street is where the ghosts of old rides get traded in and new legends are born. They've got a monster lineup of new Kias that'll take you from tailgates to haunted houses in style. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955. Don't get spooked, get moving. Kia City of the Bronx, where Halloween meets horsepower.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Rich Eisen here for Sonos, the speakers that bring every game to life in my own house. With studio quality sound, Sonos makes you feel like you're right there in the stadium. Whether you're cheering on your team, binging your favorite show, or listening to the hottest songs, Sonos fills every room with incredible sound. Setup is easy. Just plug in, open the Sonos app, and you're ready to go. Want stadium quality sound at home just like me? Because I love Sonos. You will too. Explore soundbars, speakers, and more at Sonos.com. Sonos. They look as good as they sound.
They say a full marathon is the ultimate test. For me, it's more than a race. It's a milestone I once thought impossible. Michelle Smallman here, and I'm running my very first marathon in New York City with the support of Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist, powered by Parity. Together, we're empowering girls and women through sports and education, with grants to 32 organizations in 21 states. Every step I take is for the finish line and for the next generation chasing their dreams. Here's to 26.2 miles and a future with no limits.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team. Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. ESPN New York is giving you the chance to experience UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden. That's Madison Square Garden on November 15th. One grand prize winner and a guest will score tickets to the ESPN New York Suite, hosted by Peter Rosenberg. Enjoy the energy of the Garden, the comfort of a private suite, and world-class UFC action alongside one of New York's biggest sports personalities. Again, somehow they're saying that's Peter, but I don't know. To enter, find the contest tile on the ESPN New York app. To submit your entry, brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of UFC. You know, I got caught up in talking about the experience at home being better than it is at the stadium. And I said that I'm going on Sunday. I didn't explain why, because my son has turned into this big Giant fan, and he wants to see Jaxson Dart in person. So he asked me, and so I got tickets. That's why I'm doing it. I don't think I would go to a game if I had the choice to watch it on TV. I would go to a baseball game. I would go to a basketball game. Any hockey game I would go to. Hockey's better in person than it is on TV. It just is. But football's better on TV. It just is. And, I was talking with Ray Deenham, my producer, and, we both made a good point about raising the ticket prices. If you owned a pizza shop, right, a pizzeria, and you raise the price of pizza from $2.50 to $4, and there was not a drop in sales, people continued to buy your pizza. And then you went to $4.50, same thing. And you went to $5, same thing. And by the way, slice of pizza now are about $5. It's amazing. I grew up, it was 50 cents. Shows you how old I am. But you'd be a bad businessman if you didn't continue to raise pizza prices. You'd be a bad businessman. So we get upset. We all talk about the price of tickets and how upset we are, and then we continue to go out and buy them. So why would the owners stop? Well, out of the goodwill of their hearts? Well, how many billionaires have goodwill in their hearts? How many? And as I said yesterday, one thing I don't understand, Woody Johnson had to have this come across his desk. Yeah, we're gonna raise ticket prices. He could have said, no, what are you, crazy? It's a terrible look. We haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. How could we do this? He didn't. He signed off on it. Christopher Johnson signed off on it because they don't care, because you're going to pay for it. And that's why I said, although controversial, if you do pay the ticket increase, you're a chump. You deserve it. Until you walk away and say enough, then you deserve it. And they're going to keep doing it. And they'd be stupid not to. Again, we're appealing to the goodwill of a billionaire. Very little goodwill when it comes to billionaires. Very little. Knicks and the Bulls tonight in Chicago. And I'm reading a lot of the stories, and this is what I felt as well. You want to quicken the pace. You want to shoot a lot of threes. Quickening the pace completely eradicates the effectiveness of Karl Anthony Towns. Now, even he knows. He doesn't know what his role is. He even said it. I don't know what my role is. I'm trying to figure it out. You want to run the ball? This guy is a lumbering center. He's a big man. He's not in the best of shape. Even Stephen Bondi today in the Post said OG Anunoby is not in great shape. He can't keep up with the pace. Josh Hart's in great shape. Brunson's in great shape. Those guys could do it. So quickening the pace and depending on threes, well, you're eliminating the effectiveness of Karl Anthony Towns. And then if you become an exclusive three-point shooting team, when Mitchell Robinson finally comes back from his load management, I think it's more than that, and I said that after he missed opening night, it's going to be 3-on-5 offensively. When Josh Hart's in there. Josh Hart's not a three-point shooter. Mitchell Robinson's not a three-point shooter. So it just seems strange to me. Right now, their offense is in the 20s. Last year, with the Antichrist, Tom Thibodeau as the coach, their offense was 5th in the NBA. 5th. That wasn't the problem. That was never the problem. But you made a coaching change, and you brought in a guy that wants to quicken the pace, who, by the way, is doing what the front office wants. They want to quicken the pace as well. Let's see how it works out. Bold strategy. Let's go to Nick in Bayside. Nick.
Hey, Mike. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it.
I wanted to mention to you, and I don't know if you know this, but it's my son's birthday, actually, and I took him to a Yankee game in September.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his first game, and what we got to do was what's called the Glimpse of Greatness.
Right.
And it's $40. It's a great price. And what the Yankees do is you're allowed to go into the stadium early, 3 hours early. You go around. It's a self-guided tour. You can go into judges' chambers, and you get to see historic memorabilia of the Yankees. He got to hold CeCe's cleats, which was like a size 15 on the 6-year-old. and he got to see a base that Judge ran around when he hit 61 home runs. And then we got to go into Monument Park, and then we got to see batting practice. It was great. It was a great experience. And for $40, I think the Yankees were doing an absolutely great job. Yeah,
so that's $40 on top of the ticket, or that gets you a ticket as well?
Yeah, $40 on top of the ticket, which obviously tickets are very expensive. But I think for $40, you really get your money's worth. It was a great experience. I mean, obviously, as a baseball fan, you get to experience all of that, including with the game. And he was a little leaguer, so what they also did was they allowed him to walk around the field, as they do for little leaguers, walk around the field before the beginning of the game as like a kind of a little league parade, which was also great too.
Well, I'm glad that he had a wonderful time, and happy birthday to him. That's a nice thing. This is even before my time, but they used to walk on the field after games at Yankee Stadium. Can you imagine the thrill for a kid walking on the field? So this way, if you're a little leaguer, they do have little league parades a lot during the season where the kids get to walk on the field before the game starts. So kind of a neat thing. Also kind of a neat thing is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. They're coming up in moments tomorrow. Big Football Friday. We'll also preview Game 6 of the World Series in Toronto as the Blue Jays could win their first title since 1993. And I'm red hot. 2-pack for sure tomorrow toward the end of the show. So please make it an appointment to be with me. Thank you for another 2 hours. They go by fast. In the word to Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for a goodbye again. See everybody, have a wonderful afternoon.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.